Change begins from within. As easy as it is to look outside of ourselves and want the world to change, the truth is, it never will if we remain the same. This podcast was created for changemakers like you who want more love and connection in your community. Today, you are going to hear stories that will inspire you and also challenge you to be the change. We are going to go deep, my friend. So take a deep breath and settle in. My name is Emilia Tamburini. Welcome to the Circle of Change. Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to our final episode of the spring season. Can you believe it? Wow. It has been such a joy for me to sit here over the last day and reflect on our journey together over the last number of weeks. First of all, I want to thank you for being with me for another season. Having you here in Circle with us means so, so much. And I hope that you're enjoying this. As always, I am here. So please reach out and let me know what it is that is in your heart. What is it that you enjoy about this experience? What would you like to hear more of? I'm all ears because I really want this to serve you. That's why I started this whole endeavor in the first place. Let's take a moment to settle in with a poem. Take a deep breath and let out anything that you want to shed in this very moment. Welcome to Circle, to this sacred time that we have together. This poem is called Small Things, and it is by Richard Monckton Milnes. A sense of an earnest will to help the lowly living, and a terrible heart thrill if you have no power of giving, an arm of aid to the weak, a friendly hand to the friendless, kind words so short to speak, but whose echo is endless. The world is wide, these things are small, they may be nothing, but they are all. I love this poem, and it does weave into the theme I ultimately want to get to today. First, I want to take a moment just to reflect on this journey we've been on. This season, we really did a lot of shedding and planting new seeds. We began our journey with shedding old parts of us and inviting in the new, and really ask ourselves some questions about what is the cost to us and everyone else when we don't let those parts go that are ready to fall away. We talked about knowing that we are right on time and that there's really nowhere else to be. This was all about settling into what is. We talked about the purpose of pain, particularly in our relationships where there might be some strife, and also what true kindness is and what it is not, and how to give more of it to ourselves. There was a lot of failure in the spring season for me personally, and I'm curious to know about you as well. But that failure that led to trusting and really letting go of stories, of ways of being, of needing to be somewhere we're not, letting go of this need to feel comfortable all the time, and embracing friction for what it really is, transformation. We had some amazing guests join us this season as well. Leah Lund, right off the top, where she really brought us through the process to shift from hustling to creation and really reconceptualizing who we are as humans. She gave us this beautiful process to release toxic patterns. And I don't know if you remember the horse story that she told us, and I will never forget it and always relate it to my own personal constipation of having things blocked and that release that you get when you're able to let things go. Lisa Dow came on and spoke with us about food freedom, which might have seemed like a bit of deviation from what we're all about here. But for me, her message of loving and accepting ourselves and really trusting our intuition are so important for being the change because I truly believe that the work that we have in front of us is about loving and accepting ourselves because when we're not doing that, we are projecting our stuff onto others. But getting to that place of projecting our love and acceptance on others, that's really where we're going to see some big change. Melaine Lee Butler came on and shared her heartbreaking story about losing her son and the amazing way that she transformed through grief and really focuses on helping people to be alive right now in their life. Her powerful story and her use of analogies created a lasting impression on me. And then to end, just last episode, we had Donna Wales share her story. She's a domestic abuse survivor who uses her trauma today to connect and create safety for her students. This story really is about resilience and a reminder of the importance of kindness and what kindness really looks like. I love these recaps because if I don't do them, I forget about all the amazing things that we've learned and gone through together. I do this at the end of every year. I go through my entire year and write out all the people I met and all the experiences I had and the places I got to visit and the ways in which I quote unquote failed and the new creations that came out of me and all the transformation. I know for me, the spring season, like I said earlier, it really has been about clearing out old beliefs. For example, needing to justify my existence and worthiness and what support looks like and how I can receive it. And then I think I've really gotten more clear on what my focus is in the work that I do, giving the gift of listening and the power that is in that, being able to provide a compassionate approach when others can't or shouldn't have to hold that space, and bringing a trauma informed lens to conversations so that we can heal and move toward new possibilities. I also focused a lot on joy because my life purpose is bringing more love and joy to my life and others. I've been finding myself much more intentional when I sit down to work and I'm begrudging the task that is in front of me, usually related to financial reconciliation or budgeting or something like that. I've now started playing music and I light candles just to make the experience more sacred. And when I'm feeling stuck, I take my notepad out and I go sit in this beautiful new park across the street and I write there. I've been having lots of weekly calls with amazing change makers, and every once in a while, I'll throw a song on and just dance. And I have to say, it's life changing. This brings me to what I want to chat about today in our circle, which is really the power of choice, and that we, in any given moment, have control over how it is we feel. Now, to do that, we do need a lot of self awareness in terms of what is going on for us and intentionality. What is it that we want to create in any given moment? Because where our attention goes, our energy flows. That is what we feed into and recreate over and over again. I want to hone in on those moments when we're not feeling so good, when we're really focused on our own stuff that's going on, whatever that is, whether it's relationship strife, whether it's not feeling well, like mentally or physically. And I want to shed some light, some wisdom that I received from my mom a long while ago. I was in the middle of a relationship breakup and I was so in my own head about it all the time, just really wanting to talk about this over and over again. And I was on a call with my mom, and she listened very patiently to me, as she always has. When I think about this now, and I'm having this moment of realization as we talk, that my mom has been my mentor for listening, for how to be a really good listener. She's so good at reflecting back what it is she has heard and doing it in a way that lifts you up to another stratosphere. I just love that I'm having this realization with you. It warms my heart. So, as I wrapped up, I expressed that I really didn't want to feel this pain anymore. And she paused and then said, sometimes the best thing that we can do to soothe ourselves is to focus on something outside of ourselves. Is there a way that you could give to somebody else in this moment? Those words felt like a balm to me. It was what I needed to get myself out of my own stuff. It really was amazing, the impact that it had. I remember writing a thank you card to somebody for something they had done a while ago. And instantly my energy shifted. I was feeling good. I felt like I had more mobility to move and get back to doing things that really lit me up. Whereas before, I just felt stuck. Like there was nothing else I could do but focus on my own drama, my own heartbreak. And it really wasn't getting me anywhere. Now, I'm not saying we need to avoid our feelings and distract ourselves, sort of spiritually bypass the pain. I think there is much benefit in looking inward and really feeling our pain. And at some point, it becomes unproductive. I have used this so many times since then. When I was going through cancer, I had many moments of being in my own stuff and really focused on how bad I felt or how scared I was. Sometimes in those moments, I would think about my mom's words of wisdom. I would call somebody up and go for a walk with them, but really make sure that I created space to hear what was happening for them in their lives and gave them that gift of listening. And it felt so, so good. When my heart has been aching, I have focused on my friends who are couples and hung out with them and instilled love into their relationship. Or when I'm in financial strife, I have focused on giving to others. Because what I've learned is that we always have something to give. A great example of this is a story that came out of the Kindness Diaries, which is a book that really inspired me to start the Kindness Circle, as well as some other experiences. But there was a story in there where the author, Leon, he's in Pittsburgh and he's really struggling to find anybody to give him accommodation and food for the night. And he ends up being on the street. This man who was homeless at the time essentially took him in and allowed him to stay with him on the streets. And he made this vow that he would protect him at all costs. And he did. He stayed up and looked over Leon the whole night, which I think is just so amazing. And in the morning, he had just received these clothes from the shelter. He was so concerned about the little amount of clothes that Leon had to continue his journey that he gave these clothes to him. That to me is true giving, is true kindness. I think of those stories every time I'm thinking about my lack, the scarcity, what I don't have, my own pain, that my capacity to give simply comes down to my own personal perspective and how I choose to think about my circumstances and what is really important to me. And the cool thing is, when I'm able to switch my perspective and really focus on giving to others, it feels so good. And that's the bonus. Everybody wins when we're able to do that. I know what we're talking about today is not rocket science. It's a basic human principle. But I think it's relevant for this time right now because as I'm having these conversations with communities who are interested in the kindness circle, every single one of them says to me, "Oh my gosh, we so need this right now." And then they reflect back to me all of the strife, all of the pain that is in their communities, whether it's financial, whether it is around reconciliation and uncertainty about what that means, whether it's the Canadian flag and what that means, whether it's about COVID and the stigma that still exists around that disease, as well as the uncertainty. There's simply a lot going on right now, layered on top all of the personal things. I've had a number of friends recently have deaths in family members that are really close to them. So there's so much life going on right now. And it's easy to really focus on what's not working, to focus on the hurt and the pain, and to get really wrapped up in what we don't know and what that means for us. This reminder of choice, of the power of our own perspective is important while we go through this transition, which is very uncertain. It is bringing up a lot of people's unhealed trauma. It's bringing up many, many stories that are keeping us separate from one another. Often, when we're in these places, we want other people to create the safety for us. We want our decision makers or leaders or family members or friends to show up in a certain way. We forget to ask ourselves, how am I showing up in this moment? Am I a safe person to be around? Am I a giving person to be around? Am I creating joy in my day to day? And that, my friend, is where the power lies. That is where there is life satisfaction and safety and freedom and choice and all of the things that we think we don't have in these other circumstances out there that are outside of our control. But we do have control over how it is we show up, and we control that by what we focus on. Again, I'm not saying that we can't focus on our own pain. We can't feel that. I believe that that is necessary for moving forward and healing. We can also focus on what we can give in these moments to others. And I think that is where the healing energy will come from. The question then that I want to leave you with is actually there's two questions. The first one is, what is it that I really want to feel right now that I'm not? So maybe you are not feeling safety or security or financial freedom or healthy or love or joy. And then the follow-up question is, how can I give that to others? And just see where that takes you. I want to thank my mom for her beautiful life lessons that she has given me. My mom is in a dementia journey right now. I can get lost in what is no longer there for us, how much our relationship has changed, and how much I want it to be like it was. And in this moment, I'm celebrating all of the gifts, the nuggets, the wisdom that she has dropped over the years and the tight, close relationship that we continue to have today. In fact, when I let go of this identity that she has dementia and step into our conversations full hearted, still sharing all the details of my life with her, she continues to drop amazing nuggets of wisdom, which I love. For me, it's a reminder that my perspective really does matter and it changes my experience. And I know it changes hers as well. All right, that's it for today and our spring season of 2022. I will be back on June 30th, and I'm excited to return then because I'll have a few kindness circles under my belt, and I want to report back to you. I have a dream also to record some stories on the road and bring those to you as well, because I think it'll be transformative and really inspiring. I want to keep focusing on connection and kindness. I want to keep leaning into decolonizing our ways of being. And our themes going forward will continue along that vein. If you have other themes that you want to dive into, please reach out. You can leave a voicemail on the website. You can email me. You can call me. Whatever feels good for you. Know that I am sending love for whatever is going on for you in your life right now and holding your heart dearly in mine. I look forward to reconvening in the summer. Ciao, Changemaker. I'm now passing the talking piece to you. If you feel called to put your voice in the circle, please head to humconsulting.ca/podcast and share your story there. I cannot wait to hear what has come up for you as you have listened to what has been shared here today. I wish you love and joy beyond your wildest imagination. I also want to express my gratitude to the following peeps. Circle of Change is recorded on Lekwungen territories, and I am so grateful to live on this land. Our opening and closing music was created by the talented E-Roll Beats. You can find his creations at erollbeats.com. And special thanks to my coach, Mary Chan of Organized Sound Productions, for bringing this podcast to life. Until next time, ciao.